Hi, I'm Catherine Auman. Thanks for coming out tonight and for your attention. I'm really thrilled to be here that I was asked to present for Library Girl. Susan Hayden and I have become friends on Instagram, sharing photos of our adorable husbands. We both got married about the same time, about a year ago, so it's been really fun. I was at the David Bowie event 5 years ago when we were celebrating his work. I remember I was particularly moved by acoustic rendition by Eric Garcia and a friend of his of Heroes. And I went home the next morning to look up the lyrics, Google the lyrics, and found out that David had died while we were celebrating. So I'm glad we get a chance to meet again 5 years later. My piece is called Moving Like Tigers. I kept trying to find the old Polaroid of myself, the one where I'd painted a Ziggy Stardust zigzag across my face. My crew and I, a performance art troupe called the Art Tarts, were headed downtown to a party. I'd wanted to leave one breast exposed with the nipple-painted lipstick red, but my friends vetoed. Today I wish I'd done it anyway, so I could tell you that I did. Maybe that night at the party, I picked up the lead singer, or he me, and soon enough we were bawling and playing and moving like tigers. It was dark. Streetlight was barely seeping in through the shades, and we stifled our sounds in case of the neighbors. Our play was cold and bold, driving like rock and roll power chords, the way it can only be with someone who's hot and you don't care because you're never going to see them again. Slinky, slithering bodies pumped up with aggressive animal nature sex, sleek like tigers on Vaseline. But then, as usual, a few days later, I thought we had a good thing going, and I did want more. When I called, he listened, and then he said, "If you think we're going to make it, you better hang on to yourself." It took me 30 years to figure out what that meant. Along the way, here's some things I discovered. Hang on to yourself. We really weren't. Oblivion was what we were going for. What most people are going for was sex, food, booze, screen time. Hang on to yourself. You start learning that every mistake you ever made in love was not centering in yourself, but instead putting the other person first in a codependent, prostrating way. You hand over your power on a plate and plead, "If I become weak, will you love me?" We hand over our power because our fantasy of love is of being swept away. The fantasy of, "I just couldn't help it," or "it's so intoxicating," or "I have no will of my own." This dream state perpetuated by love songs, rock songs, Disney films, our sanitized interpretation of fairy tales. The medieval troubadours who taught us to elevate the beloved above ourselves, to grovel and pine. This worked well in a day when one half of a couple was socially and politically powerless, but very few of us want that anymore. Hang on to yourself. When you're finally out of your 20s and you start moving with people you do care about and would like to see again, the play is not like hard driving rock and roll at all. In fact, when you're in love, it's a meditation, a worshipful awe that this divine being is willing to share something so transcendent. He's here with me now and still will be tomorrow. It takes a long time to trust that. Hang on to yourself. Osho noted that it may be easy to hang on to ourselves during normal times or when we're sad, but during ecstasy, we don't want to hang on to ourselves then. That's when we want to let go into oblivion, and then we don't hang on to ourselves and we're lost again. By the way, you shouldn't be putting Vaseline on your precious sacred petals or on his magic wand. Vaseline is a petroleum product. It's like pouring gasoline on sensitive erotic tissue. Much better to use pure virgin coconut oil, considered by the Polynesians as the love juice of the gods. Hang on to yourself. When we hang on to ourselves, when we're in the present moment, when this is all there is, this is ecstasy. This is why tantric lovers never get bored after hours and hours of lovemaking. Why making love is a meditation, a surrender to our tiger nature, never letting go. When you remember, come back and hang on to yourself. Hang on to yourself. You're the only one that will be with you your entire life. Hang on to yourself. Stay centered. Remember who you are. Embody your power. Don't give it away. That's not love. It's a rock and roll show out there. Clanging chords, noisy, raucous, with toxic petroleum products everywhere. If you want to make it, you have to hang on to yourself. Thank you.